I wanted to be around food because I used to enjoy sitting in the kitchen with my mom and cooking with her back in the day in Nigeria. So I said, you know what, I want to work in a restaurant. My first day in the kitchen, I peeled potatoes, washed dishes, and cut onions the entire time, and I was just bawling like I thought we were going to be cooking. Hello, my name is Chef Stone. I watched a movie as a young chef called Chef, and it was about a chef that lost his job in a fine dining restaurant and then found solace in owning a food truck that he drove around with his son, and they were cooking and having a good time. So for me, I thought, you know, this is a brilliant idea and I would love to own one in Nigeria. I managed to get a truck to Abuja. I drove it around and I moved around from Wuse to Central area, and it was brilliant for a little while, but it failed woefully the first time. The reason it failed was because the agencies had a lot of issues with driving a food truck around town. People could not find you when they needed to find you. And I just thought about it that, you know, instead of moving around, wouldn't it make sense to stay in one place and people come to find you? Later on, I found other people started to open up food trucks, and I could just imagine the same problems they were facing were some of the problems I faced. So I said, you know what, I would like to own a place where the food trucks can come. Nobody's disturbing you to say, why are you driving here, why are you parking there? I mean, I started with one food truck, and I later decided that, you know what, you can't do everything from one truck. You know, it would be nice to also offer additions. And what I did was I saved all the money for that food truck, listened to what customers wanted, and then I got a second food truck, and that sold drinks. And then it evolved to a third food truck, which was ice cream. A lot of the truck vendors did not immediately buy into it. So it was just my 3 trucks that started Truck Central in a big space. And I thought, you know, are people actually going to buy into this? But as people started to come and people started to see the amount of customers that were coming, they all opened up. You know, for me, I have, I think, more than 150 staff that I care about. So I'm always thinking about not letting them down or letting my family down. So that keeps me up at night. I think Truck Central is part of Abuja's nightlife scene. I think more and more people are embracing kind of, you know, outdoor, simple spaces like Truck Central because, you know, first, cost-wise, you know, it's cheaper on the pocket. You have a lot of options to choose from, as opposed to go to one place and you only got one menu. Here you can choose to eat amala in the middle of the night if you want. You can have noodles, basically anything. So that variety, I think, is why people love Truck Central very much. We've made it quite easy, and it makes it social as well. When you have to walk up to the truck, you meet people, you talk to people. People don't talk anymore. Everybody's on their phones, or, you know, if a waiter comes to your table, you don't feel like you need to talk to anybody. But when you walk up to one of the trucks and you're in a line queuing to order food, you meet people on the line, you talk to them. A lot of people have met each other at Truck Central. We also introduced the buzzers that makes it easy, so you're not going up to the truck every time to kind of ask, is my food ready? So once your food is ready, you get the buzzer, it buzzes, and you just go pick it up. The idea of Truck Central is really to blow it up. You know, go to several states in Nigeria. I feel like without, you know, access to credit, Lagos would have been difficult to open, and an expansion plan, which I have, would be very difficult because if you have to dip into the pots, so you're running a business, you have your day-to-day, and it's a very cash-based system where you need the money to buy stock, to put back in the business, to sell food and stuff like that. The ease of getting the credit is you know, really astounding. The idea now, we are looking at Ibadan, we are looking at Kaduna currently, Port Harcourt as well, and then we're looking at outside of Nigeria as well. Okay, so I'm having the Barbito seared salmon with their special fried rice, and it just looks so good. I love it so much. I like seared stuff, so let's taste it, and I'll tell you just how great it is. This is why I love it so much. It's so perfectly seared. The rice is just delicious. A lot of what customers usually used to complain about back then also was, you know, when they make payments and there was an error in transaction, you could not confirm the transaction immediately. You had to tell them to wait a few days until it drops in your account before you can refund the money back to them. Really made business quite difficult. And then the vendors were not as accommodating, so they wanted their money immediately. So, you know, the books were not balancing most of the time. I think a lot of people that did food businesses back in the day can attest to that. But I think now with Moniepoint, you see your money immediately. Even if there's an error, you can detect it immediately. You can see where your money is, and the app really helps a lot because I can see every part of my business, all my food trucks, the restaurant. You can see everything on one page. You can move money around when you need to. You can pay your vendors on time. So I think we've gotten to that stage now where payment is almost instant. I think maybe a week after I took on Moniepoint as a payment method, I think a week after I switched almost all the payments to Moniepoint. I think I tested it with 1 or 2 of the trucks, and I just saw the ease, and I was like, straight up, more POSs, let's go, everybody POS. Moniepoint has to come with me all the way. I will drag them to wherever I'm going, whatever. If they're not in that country, I'm sure Moniepoint will start in that country for that purpose.